Iraq, the land between the Tigris and Euphrates, is where civilization began. Here, fertile soil from the rivers allowed people to settle, farm, and build the world's first cities, Uruk, Babylon. These cities became centers of innovation. Writing, laws, the wheel, and monumental ziggurats all emerged here. Mesopotamians mapped the stars, developed mathematics, and left us stories like the Epic of Gilgamesh. Iraq's geography made it a crossroads for trade and ideas, connecting Asia, Africa, and Europe. Caravans brought goods and cultures, making it a melting pot and a prize for empires. Sumerians, Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians all ruled from this heartland, each leaving a lasting mark. By the 7th century, Iraq was a tapestry of ancient legacies, its land still coveted for its rivers and strategic position. The shadows of Babylon and Assyria lingered, but new powers had risen. The land's importance, its rivers, its crossroads, remained unchanged. Iraq was still a jewel for empires, a bridge between worlds. And on this ancient stage, a new chapter was about to begin with the arrival of Islam. In the early 7th century, Iraq was the prized province of the Sasanian Persian Empire. The Sasanians, Zoroastrian rulers, had made Iraq, Asoristan, their heartland, with Ctesiphon as their magnificent capital. Ctesiphon on the Tigris was a cosmopolitan metropolis, famed for its palaces and the colossal Tak-Kasra arch. The empire's wealth came from irrigation-fed agriculture and bustling trade. Iraq's society was diverse. Persians, Arameans, Jews, and Christians lived under Sasanian rule, paying taxes to fund the empire. The Sasanians tolerated religious diversity as long as order and taxes were maintained, but by the 600s, the empire was weakening. Wars with Byzantium, internal strife, and plague had taken their toll. The once great canal systems were crumbling and the treasury was depleted. Beneath the surface, the empire was fragile, its foundations cracking. The Sasanian grip on Iraq was slipping, just as a new force was rising in Arabia. The stage was set for a dramatic upheaval. Iraq, still wealthy and strategic, was now vulnerable. A new chapter was about to begin. In the 630s, Muslim Arab armies swept into Iraq, united by Islam and led by skilled commanders. Their raids exposed Sasanian weaknesses. Early victories gave them confidence and territory. Sasanian king Yazdegerd III assembled a massive army under General Rostam to stop the invaders at Qadisiyyah. The Persians brought heavy cavalry and war elephants. The Arabs, agile and determined, relied on speed and faith. The battle raged for days, with elephants causing chaos among the Arabs. But the Arabs adapted, targeting the elephants and shifting the tide. The struggle was fierce, with heroism on both sides. On the final day, a sandstorm blinded the Persians, and the Arabs seized the moment. General Rostam was killed. Sasanian morale collapsed. The Persian army was routed, and the Arabs won a decisive victory. Qadisiyyah opened the door to Iraq for the Muslim armies. The old order had fallen. A new era was beginning. The fate of Iraq was changed forever. With the Sasanian army defeated, the road to Ctesiphon lay open. The Muslim army, led by Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, advanced north, meeting little resistance. Many locals, weary of Sasanian rule, welcomed the change. As the Arabs approached, King Yazdegerd III fled, leaving the city leaderless. The siege was brief. Ctesiphon surrendered in 637. The city's opulence stunned the Arab soldiers, palaces, treasures, and the legendary Tak-Kasra. The spoils were immense, a fifth sent to Caliph Umar in Medina. The fall of Ctesiphon ended Sasanian rule in Iraq. The Muslim conquerors now faced the challenge of governing a vast, complex land. The capture of the ancient capital marked the start of a new era. The Muslim rulers saw Ctesiphon as unsuitable for their needs. Caliph Umar ordered the founding of new garrison cities, Kufa and Basra, in 638. Basra, near the Gulf, controlled maritime trade. Kufa, inland, oversaw fertile lands and key routes. These cities were planned from scratch, with mosques and governors' residences at their centers. Arab soldiers and families settled there, forming a new elite, but locals also flocked to the cities for opportunity. Kufa and Basra became melting pots, driving the Arabization and Islamization of Iraq. They quickly grew into centers of learning and religious life. Basra produced the first Arabic grammars. Kufa became a hub for Islamic law and scholarship. Companions of the Prophet settled here, spreading his teachings. These cities born of military necessity became intellectual powerhouses. They shaped the future of Iraq and the wider Islamic world. Islam's spread in Iraq was gradual, not forced. The new rulers kept much of the Sasanian bureaucracy, especially for taxes. Christians and Jews became dhimmi, protected peoples, paying a poll tax but keeping their faith in communities. Many Iraqis converted to Islam over time, some for faith, others for social and economic benefits. Conversion meant relief from the jizya tax and access to new opportunities. The process was strongest in Kufa and Basra, where Arabs and locals mixed daily. Arabic became the language of trade and administration. Islamic values and practices slowly reshaped daily life and culture. The new government invested in restoring irrigation, boosting agriculture and prosperity. Good governance and economic growth made the new order attractive. Iraq's transformation was driven by pragmatic rule, opportunity, and the appeal of a new vision. Iraq's transformation peaked with the rise of the Abbasid Caliphate in the mid-8th century. The Abbasids moved the empire's capital from Damascus to Iraq, founding Baghdad in 762. Baghdad, the city of peace, became the world's largest and most brilliant city. Its round design symbolized its role as the empire's hub. Scholars, scientists, and artists flocked to Baghdad, drawn by the caliph's patronage. The House of Wisdom became a center for translating and expanding on Greek, Persian, and Indian knowledge. Baghdad's scholars made breakthroughs in algebra, astronomy, medicine, and more. This was the Islamic Golden Age, with Iraq at its center. Iraq had gone from a Sasanian province to the heart of a global civilization. The legacy of Mesopotamia provided fertile ground. Islam's dynamism made it flourish. Iraq was now the beacon of the Islamic world, shaping history for centuries. The land between two rivers had become the heart of a civilization. Its influence would echo through time.